everyone, my name is Jessica Alexandria, and today I'm going to talk about the behind the scenes of my latest short film, Love Lost. So, if you haven't heard, Love Lost officially has a release date, which is very, very exciting. It'll be free to watch on YouTube on May 12th, 2023, so that is, how far away? That is only a week away, which is very exciting, and I put quite the timeline on me, especially since I'm not done editing it yet. I'm really close, I'm just having some issues with the audio. But I'm not going to go on any more about that because I'm going to hopefully try and make this video short. Yeah, here is how the filming of Love Lost went and all the behind the scenes. Love Lost is actually a short story I wrote myself about 2 years ago. You can find it on my blog, alicegrimrose.com, or you can read it on the World of Myth magazine website. It was my second short story I had published there. I'm pretty sure to this day I am the youngest author they've ever had published on there, so that's a little something to brag about. Also, really quick, I apologize about all the cuts in the video. I didn't block out what I was going to say beforehand, so there's going to be a lot of clips of me. It's because I cut out a bunch of stuff where I wasn't saying anything and I was trying to figure out what to say, so I just want to apologize about that beforehand. So I put out a casting call for Love Lost. I posted on a bunch of local Sarnia groups. I posted it to my newsletter on my Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. I didn't get too many replies. 3 lovely ladies were interested in auditioning for the role of Macy, and no one had reached out to me about the lead role. Which, honestly, for just a volunteer role, I can't really blame them, because of the nature of the role. It's an abusive husband who murders his wife. I can see why people wouldn't want to volunteer for that role. So I ended up reaching out to a friend of mine who owns his own film production business, and he managed to find someone who could do the role for me. Auditions and everything went well. After auditions and I chose my actors, I scheduled a read-through, an in-person read-through. That went very well as well. It was actually the first ever script read-through I've done because my last film, Clandestine, I didn't do that. So then I had planned to film April 25th, which was a Saturday. April 25th was the set down filming date. A week before the filming date, my special effects artist messaged me saying that she got a concussion and had to cancel. So I had to reschedule. So I'm like, well, can you do Sunday? So April 26th. And she said that she could. I confirmed with all of the actors if they could, the sound people. My lead actress couldn't do Sunday because she has a full-time job. And we thought acting would go late. So I'm like, okay. Well, then we do it Saturday, like next Saturday, April 29th, I think that is. Was it April 29th? I'm like, can you do it next Saturday? Okay. Well, a couple days before, the Saturday that we were originally supposed to film, the guy doing my sound messages me and says, are we all set for tomorrow? And I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I completely forgot to tell you that we switched to next week. And he's like, well, I'm busy Saturday. I'm like, well, I can't switch the date again. So he ended up lending me his microphone and taught me how to do all the audio myself. So I was directing, recording, doing cinematography, and recording audio, which I have no experience doing audio. And all 3 of my behind-the-scenes assistants quit on me. So, it was everyone on set was me, my special effects person, and the 2 actors. That was it. And I had to do everything myself, other than act and the makeup, of course. So, but that was a little bit of a challenge. Filming went really well. There wasn't really any hiccups other than the ball head on my tripod wouldn't screw on properly, so it was kind of just sitting in the holder in my tripod and wasn't really screwed on, so it was very unstable. And while I was recording, I had to hold the microphone because there was nowhere to attach it on my camera or my tripod. Acting went really well though. I took loads of behind the scenes photos. I had a blast. Now I'm not gonna lie, my anxiety was pretty bad before everyone arrived, as it usually is. I couldn't eat that day. Like I couldn't sleep the night before. My anxiety was pretty bad. But of course, as always, I ended up stressing myself out beforehand, even though it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I ended up having a blast. And at the end of shooting, when all the actors were packing up to head home, okay, I thought both actors were local to Sarnia. Okay, I thought both my actors were local to Sarnia. Turns out they both live near Toronto, which is like a 3-4 hour drive from Sarnia. Two actors who are adults with full-time jobs drove 3 to 4 hours to come volunteer in a teenager's film. I'm not gonna lie, that makes me feel really special. Like, I couldn't believe it. They drove all that way just for like, what? It was like 4, not even 5 hours to film the whole thing, including makeup. Like, they were in and out of there, like, I don't even think 5 hours, like 3 or 4. We started filming around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I got home from set around 7 or 8. So that, it did not take as long as I thought it would. I thought it was going to take longer, especially since I didn't have any help. And I think the film, like I said, is mostly put together. I just have to do some things with the audio, add the credit screen, the title screen, stuff like that. The basics are done. So it shouldn't take me too much longer to finish. There are some pretty good scene transitions in there, like camera shot transitions, and there are some really bad ones. Okay, the worst camera transition is when the two characters, Macy and Liam, are fighting on the staircase, at the bottom of the staircase. And I was filming in the doorway of the living room, and I wanted the first half of the argument to be filmed at that point, and then I wanted to switch it and film from in front of the front door. Sorry, that was my arm hitting my shelf. But after I'd already pressed cut after I'd already said cut on the first half of the argument, and I went to go put my camera in the new position, because I only have one camera, there was no room for my camera. It wouldn't have been a good angle. So I went back and only shot the second half of the argument. So there's not really a transition. It kind of just is like from this angle, from the same angle, but a little like positioned differently. So it's not really a good transition. It just kind of cuts and is weird like that. I still think it's pretty good for only being my second film, and plus I'm doing everything except acting. Like I wrote the short story and I turned it into a script. Like I did absolutely everything all on my own. So that was pretty it was a big deal. Oh, yes, I almost did not find a filming location. I was looking for a filming location for about 3 months, and I could not find one. Our landlord for the townhouse that I live in, she said that I could use her Airbnb free of charge. And then as soon as she said that and I asked her questions about planning a date and stuff, she refused to get back to me. So she completely ignored me. So I'm like, oh, for 3 months, our landlord completely ignored me. So I had to find somewhere else. It was I was planning a filming day, and the filming day had been planned, and I'm like, I still need a location because it had to be a house, and my house wouldn't work, And honestly, I don't want a bunch of random people I've never met before in my house. Plus, I have 2 dogs. I need to find somewhere for them to go. So that just wouldn't work out. So a good friend of my mom's actually said that I could use her house. She said that her house was like built in the 1920s or something like that, really old house, and it had a gorgeous staircase, and I was like, oh yes. And I told her, I'm like, you have no clue how much I appreciate this, because I almost couldn't find a location, and without a location this couldn't have happened. So I am still super, super grateful for that. I have 3 films planned already this year. One is Nimu's Whim, which the casting call is already up, and I'm actually booking auditions today. Second is called, the working title is Dealing with Myself. It's set on a horse farm. That'll be filmed in hopefully the mid to end of July. And then around the fall, I think mid-summer to beginning of fall, I am turning my most popular short story into a short film, which in fact the title of that is Goodnight Delilah. So if you haven't read it, I very much recommend that you read it. It is my most popular short film. It was my first one to be published. R.L. Stine, the kids horror author, the author of Goosebumps, has actually read that short story. So that's pretty exciting. Well, I think that about wraps up everything. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to like and subscribe for more behind the scenes content on my future films, and so you can get a notification when Love Lost is released. Thank you for watching. Bye!